Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another show. My name is Tyler, and I'm here with Matt, the founder of ORATS. ORATS is an options analytics platform built on top of over 15 years of historical options data, and our dashboard is integrated with Tradier, meaning you can research and discover trades on our platform and then seamlessly send them through to your Tradier brokerage account. Today on the show, we're going to be discussing how to search, rank, and filter over 300 million options backtests. Matt, do you want to share a screen and get us started?
Sure. Yeah, thanks a lot. We started backtesting many years ago. We have proprietary data, and our clients wanted us to prove that our data was good. So we set up a backtester to do just that, and it did a pretty good job. And so over the years, we've listened to our clients, and a lot of them want us to do the backtesting for them. So we have, I think, by far the largest database of pre-run backtests out there. So it's very exciting. This is our backtester, all backtests, 339 million. And we have most of the top symbols covered, and we have most of the top types of strategy trades covered. So yeah, today we're going to talk about how I use it and how to use this tool, and look at the ways that we implement it here at ORATS.
Yeah, the concept of the backtest finder is so interesting to me. Like when I was first getting into options many years ago, there was nothing like this in this space. And so, this is very unique to ORATS and very unique in the industry. A lot of other platforms, you go on there and you click away and you try to find and create these back tests manually, and this is just such a different way of doing it, and it kind of really opens up the door to what you can do with your backtest research. There's so many more possibilities now that you can quickly go and compare different ones and look through them. So it's really fascinating to use and to learn about it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how you use it all the time.
Yeah, it is quite amazing, and so yeah, let's get into it. So it's built like a database where you could sort through, and I just chose a short put spread and SPY. We rank things, by numerous different ways here. You could do. I sometimes use Sharpe ratio, which is basically the return divided by the volatility, but you could sort on many different things here. We've also kind of blended some of the top things. I like best return on risk. So, we look at like the worst annual return, the max drawdown, kind of average all those and score and then present it. So that's what I like to look at. We have, various ways to filter down based on, you could look at every leg and look at days to expiration. So I'm looking at a short put spread. So I want some theta. So I put the max days at 44. The deltas, I don't mind, out of the money right now. Spread divided by stock is basically the spread price divided by the stock, and that's a percentage. So if it's less than 2, so we want, the stock price divided by the stock price is less than 2%. So that's what we would call that a high negative percentage. Some we test with none, but only test this strategy with those types of premiums. We have entry triggers. I set the time in the market at 88, so none of the entry triggers will be actual triggers. We have triggers like the VIX level, the SMA level, how the stock is trending, and where the stock is versus these levels above or below. RSI, relative strength index, oversold, moderate, or overbought. And we have IB percentile. So it's kind of like the VIX, but it's different. The percentile can be low, moderate, or high, or none. And the slope, how steep the slope is. And that's important for these types of trades, and also important for other types of trades. So you could set those and see how your trades do. And then the exit trigger. So we have a lot of exit triggers. You could choose none, but we have the best ones have come up here. This looks like, letting it go a fair amount, 75%, both on the stop loss and the take profit are, the best, and best by the return on risk. You can see there's some other higher percentages, but as far as the return on risk, when you start to look over at, what was the annual return last year, but what was the Sharpe ratio, that's kind of related, the volatility, and what was the drawdown. So you can see some of these drawdowns are big if you, either get in or get out too quickly. And so that's one of the things that I like to avoid are those big drawdowns, big worst annual return drawdowns. See, there's 6% on some of the higher, you don't just want to go just for return performance. You want to look at overall performance. And that's why, we have this kind of return on risk. And it tells you how we calculate those.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about this tool is that you can quickly compare and rank different backtests in their, the different metrics like max drawdown. Those metrics are very important. I did want to ask, we recently released the optimizer. How are the optimizer entry and exits different than these backtest entry and exits?
Well, the optimizer is more customizable. In order to run a lot of backtests, and the reason there's so many is because we've done a lot of these entry triggers, but we have to set them at kind of stable places. So, we looked at the VIX, for example, and about a third of the time the VIX is below 15, a third of the time it's between 15 and 20, and a third of the time it's higher than 20. So those are pretty fixed states. Now the optimizer will look at things and be able to, you'll be able to use a lot more customizable. And if you're trying to optimize, it will try to find the best ones for you. So this is a start, and it's great that they're all back tested. And we do have ways, which we'll talk about later, that we go do a lot of this for you. We'll find the ones that are like the C next to it. You might notice that's the current market. So the current VIX is between 15 and 20. The current SMA is above the 50 and 200. The current RSI is overbought. And the current IB percentile is moderate, and the slope is low. So that means the puts are low relative to the calls, is how ORATS looks at the put call slope.
Yeah, the current environment is interesting, and there's that toggle at the top of that drop down that you can use to select the current environment. So if you just wanted to find backtests that were good today, that's what you would do.
Right, and I'd have to take the time in the market down, and then I could say, okay, we'll just do the ones that are in the market right now. So like we talked about before, the RSI is overbought, the slope percentile is low, and you'll notice that the annual performance is not as good, but the daily P&L is much better than we saw before because we're only in the market 40% of the time. So what best return on risk looks at, that's why we look at this kind of P&L by day, is what I like to look at, because you don't want to penalize yourself, even though this is actually quite a good return. This is, more like almost a 4% return if it was in the market all the time. So you want to look at percent per day, and it's an accurate way to look at your capital. And you can see that these are the types of strategies that I like. Not too much volatility, makes its money, has a stop loss, and it'll get, when it gets out and the market has gone down, it won't get back in until the RSI is overbought again. So this is going to be, kind of a quick trigger. So this is why, I like strategies like this. And, so what I would do is I would save this, and I might even look at in the optimizer. I'm not looking for a lot in the optimizer here because it's only in the market 40% of the time. But if we can try to improve that, it'd be great. But, this is showing a p-value of no better than a flip of the coin. So there's no real addition that these optimized strategies can do, because it's such a short amount of time, 40%, and the market doesn't really give us a chance to fully utilize our optimized indicators. When I use the optimizer, I want to be in the market at least 90% of the time, so I could get the full use out of the optimizer, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that. I've tried the same thing, and I'm like, man, why are the p-values so bad on some of these? Well, if you don't, this strategies doesn't really lose that much, right? So if you don't have that high of a max drawdown, and you're not in the market that much, and you're not seeing that many bad days, it's hard to even use the ORATS indicators to get in or out.
Yeah.
So I've had the same experience.
Yeah. So, I'll save it here. So it's in my optimized strategies, my save back test, and then I could go to it and, see what my good trades are that are in the market today in our trade ideas. So that's a, real neat benefit of what we have running here, Tyler.
Yeah, the curated strategies and my strategies tabs in the trade ideas are a great way for you to see the strategies that you've built from the optimizer and look at the trade ideas. They're very similar to the backtest finder trade ideas in theory, which is something we released probably about 9 months ago, where those trade ideas are from the current environment setup, and then they're scanning and returning the best trade. It's very similar, but they're using your optimized strategies and the ones that are currently in the strategy from your saved optimized backtests, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. And you could see, I found this is the strategy that I put on before, and then I could see that in here. So, again, it's a nice way to be able to sort and sift through the strategies that you have, Tyler.
Yeah. Let's go back to the backtest finder. I want to point out some more cool stuff that we have in that tool before we start scanning. If we have an interesting feature called Find Similar Backtests. Mm-hmm. So if you click on the backtest details, it's in the top right. It allows you to then basically plug in all of those inputs into the backtest finder table to find things that are very close to that backtest. And the reason this is good is it allows you to sort of compare very similar backtests to see if the returns are unusual, right? And if they are, then perhaps you're running into some overfitting risk. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, definitely. It's a good point. This is, I think, a real critical thing that you want to do while you're backtesting is you making sure you aren't overfit. The p-value does that. It does Monte Carlo simulations, and it makes sure that when you're picking a certain indicator that you don't overfit. But in cases like this, what you want to do is look at similar types of strategies, and you can, find similar strategies. Like if you click it, like just with all these selected, you only get the same strategy. But let's just say I want to try different exit triggers and even different entry triggers, and the yield rate or the spread price divided by the stock. So I'll want to find similar ones of those, but you could tell the days of expiration set at 36, the deltas are set at 23, which is the initial case. But now we at least have a bunch of trades here, and I could sort it by ascending and descending just to see like what are the worst ones. So there are some cases where it loses money, but then I would look at, well, yeah, that's only because you're getting in and out way too early. Like you never want to have a 25% stop or take profit. So I could, take those out or, have none or whatever. But I know that is not a good way to, all the bottom strategies, they're just getting in and out way too quick for this particular strategy. There are some strategies that 25% is a lot better, but those are generally a higher percent spread to stock price for this, and you could tell that these are low. So you're not paying very much. So let's just take a look at this. Another thing, we could go look at the actual trades, and this trade was only 2%. So that's only a third of a basis points, 30 basis points away from this particular stock price. So if you're getting out at 25%, of that, it's what, 70 cents or something. So you're getting out way too quickly for that strategy, and you could see that it's exiting for a loss. You could see the small profits, small loss, which is not the way you want to play this strategy.
Yeah, I find this tool to be the most helpful for people just getting into options, because it kind of helps you learn about the different lives that these different strategies have, right? Like in this circumstance, a short put spread, it's not good to get out too early. You got to let it ride a little bit, and you can see the big difference that just a small tweak in the stop loss and profit target does to the strategy. So it kind of really makes you learn about how these different strategies can be tweaked, and you can really see the impact based on just a little bit of a tweak in the entry settings.
Yeah, I mean, this is a short put spread, so this is a long delta strategy. I mean, meaning you want the stock to go up, so you want to let it run in a lot of cases, and if it goes against you, then get out. But you have, you want it to be, in this case, a lot of momentum. Like this is a strategy that you want a lot of momentum, and not a lot of fear. So slope percentage is low, and if it goes against you, get out, and then you won't get in for a while because the RSI probably won't be overbought. So it's a very interesting. I think you're right. What you find out using this is there's a lot of intuition that goes into how to trade a particular strategy. This is an out of the money short put spread that basically what we're saying is use a stop loss, but let it breathe a little bit, and then only do it when the market's kind of going up and not too worried about it. Is how I would talk about this type of strategy, Tyler.
Yeah, there's just so much you can learn just from using this tool. Like we have the optimizer, which has been it's a great sort of next step in this process. But I mean, just this tool alone, you can do so much with this.
But yeah, I mean, I would consider this trade just now. It's we do have, and we've written about this other places, but there's a lot of risk coming up. But if we get through that, this would be seemingly a good strategy to start looking at. Yeah.
Well, let's put it on. So we can trade directly from this, right? So you can click the scan button, and it'll pre-fill the option scanner stuff, which is really neat.
So here are the deltas, 20, 3, and 4. Here are the days to expiration. You need a min and max date always, because there's rarely it falls directly on the days that you want. And then if there are other rules, it would put them down here. There aren't many other rules for this particular strategy, other than the current environment, which we've already seen. It fits the current environment. So, what we would do something like, a trade like this. And I should also say, that's one of them, 39 days out. But sometimes I like to, set some of these triggers. I like forecast trigger. Looks like it's picking similar ones, but you could see other strategy, other dates and et cetera, other values. But it's for the theoretical value calculations that we have, it's liking these types of strategies. And you can see that the market's very tight. We are seeing that there's some smooth edge there. We've talked about that on other shows, but that's like a theoretical value. So we're probably going to have to pay or sell it at the bid, which I'll do. I don't want to do it in my real account. I want to go to positions, and get into my paper trading, not interactive, not trade here, but my paper trading account. And then, I'll do it at 248, and we'll force that and put that on, Tyler. And what I'll do is, since the backtest has a 50% stop loss, I could be alerted to that stop loss, and I'll put that in there right now. So I'll just let's see if I have it in history. T-Hub, close enough, and I'll just say, all right, so I have profit and loss of 50%, submit changes. Yeah, so we're good. Actually, we'll call this is the backtest trade, so I'll change my note. And then, so this goes into my paper trading, and also with paper trading, we have the trade journal, so I could check that out. We could see in my filled orders what the prices were. We could see in my X alerts that I'm watching some other X alerts here, but there's a short put spread on this particular day for this particular trade, Tyler.
Yeah, the alerts are really cool. You can be on the dashboard and then get web push notifications when your strategies are going through.
Yeah, and I should also say that I could see that I have some theoretical edge here. We don't have a lot of forecast theoretical edge, but we have some distribution theoretical edge here. So I can monitor that as well.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm looking forward to the day where we can compare sort of forward test, your trades against the back test that we just looked at.
Yeah,
it's very exciting.
Yeah, we do have a lot of plans, as you know, for automating some of these forward tests. We've listened to our clients, and if you are a client or just someone interested, let us know what you're looking for. And we're a very nimble firm and can build things quite quickly. AI has helped us out. Auto has helped us out, and so we're quite good at pivoting and making the products that our customers like, Tyler.
Yeah, a lot of the tools in the dashboard have come from your guys' ideas at the root of it. So really, really cool to see all this stuff come together. The Backtest Finder, I think it's one of the most unique tools out there, if not the most helpful for learning and exploring option strategies. So really fun to use, really quick. It was great seeing how you use it and put a real trade on.
Yeah, and some people might have different things that they look for in a backtest, and you could really hone in on that by looking at the drawdowns, the worst month, the best month, and you could filter out all those. It's really, really cool. Just you could get lost diving in what the win rate is. Are you someone that likes to have a high win rate? You could set the min and max there. Are you someone that wants to get in and out of a trade? What is the actual holding days? Are you someone that I have a reward to risk. I don't want to be selling like a 20-to-1 shot. I want my worst to be 0.07, which is like 12, 13, 14 to 1 is the worst I want to do. Meaning, if you have max loss, what's that divided by what you gain? And then what the margin is, what that margin percentage is. I could set what that percentage divided by the stock is as well. It's not close on this one, but some trades it does. And so you could see the worst trade based on margin, worst trade based on notional. So there's just there's a ton of information, but I like the back tests that look like this. Like give me that low stress. And I've been in the markets for forever, and that's how you stay coming back for more is the lower stress and decently returning. It really helps you sleep and keeps you in the game.
Yeah, and if you're having trouble, finding out where to start in this backtest finder, I'd recommend using Auto to sort of help you identify some columns that you might want to filter on based on your investment objectives and stuff like that. Like you can ask it, what columns should I filter? I mean, it's trained on all the columns and stuff like that, and kind of what the tool means, so that it can help you kind of get a head start there. Matt's putting it to the test.
Yeah. So, this is Auto. Auto, we train on all of our stuff we have a university where we put a lot of classes. We have blogs that are going up. We just put a blog up last night. It's really cool. You should check that out. And, all the column header definitions and all of the explanations that we put out there, we've trained Auto. So, often Auto is better than support. If you want something, if you have a question, just use Auto. We do have an active community, but this is going through in a lot of detail, what you should be looking for, and it's showing some actual backtests. So it's just phenomenal that we're able to do this now, and this is where we're heading to with using AI to get the most out of our tools.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Auto is it's still going.
Yeah.
Chatty today. But yeah, it's a really cool tool. So
yeah.
All right. Thanks for showing that, Matt. And let's hope that trade does well. I mean, it has a really good history, so I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah.
Thanks for demonstrating that. Thank you, Tradier, for hosting us. We are going to be on the Tradier Summit, right? Is that in a week?
Oh yeah, the 4th.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about trade ideas and demonstrating a lot of our new stuff there with the optimizer and curated strategies and stuff like that. So that's going to be exciting if you guys want to tune into that. I think it's on Wednesday, right? Next week.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thank you, Tradier, for hosting us. Thank you, Matt, for talking about that. If you guys have any questions, we have an active community, like Matt said. You can also leave a comment on the YouTube channel or email us at support@orats.com.
Looks like Tuesday, Tyler.
It's on Tuesday.
Is it 4th? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Something like that.
Look it up.
Yeah. All right. And we'll see you guys again next week. Thanks, Matt.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.